Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan. What the hell happened? If you find yourself asking that same question, stick around and we'll talk about it. So, as you guys heard in the intro, today we're talking about the Terence Crawford versus Amir Khan fight from last Saturday, and the controversial slash confusing ending to that bout. If you guys didn't watch it, basically in the sixth round, well, just to give you guys the results, I'm sure you guys know by now, but it goes down as a TKO victory for Terence Crawford. In the sixth round, Terence Crawford landed a low blow on Khan that caused the bout to come to a halt. Khan was given ample time to recover. They usually give roughly about 5 minutes for them to recover when it comes to a low blow or even a severe headbutt. So apparently, Khan wasn't able to continue. And when the referee asked him and asked his cornerman or his trainer, Virgil Hunter, Hunter asked Khan, and Khan said, "No, I can't continue." So the fight was called off. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Under normal circumstances, if a fight goes 4 full rounds or beyond four rounds, and there's a foul like this, and the fighter that got fouled cannot continue, they go to the scorecards. Now, at this point, now looking back, of course, we know now that Terence Crawford was ahead in the scorecards anyway, so he would have won anyway. But rather than to go to the scorecards the way it would normally happen, as a matter of fact, this happened not this weekend, but the weekend before with Peter Quillen and Caleb Truax. They fought. I think it was in the second round. They clashed heads, and Truax got a really nasty gash between his eyebrows, and it was so bad that the referee had to stop it through the doctor's recommendation. The fight was stopped, and because they didn't complete 4 full rounds, it went to a no contest. In this particular case, Crawford and Khan did go the four full rounds. Beyond that, they went to the sixth, and they didn't go to the scorecards like they normally would. This time, the referee called off and considered it a TKO win for Terence Crawford. So that was a little strange. We were kind of perplexed. I was watching the fight and not sure what was going on. I kind of figured Crawford was going to win anyway because they were going to go to the scorecards, but they elected not to go to the scorecards and basically went straight to the TKO win for Crawford. So that's where it got a little confusing. It seemed as though it wasn't so much about whether or not Khan could continue, but whether he wanted to continue or not. So that's where the distinction comes in because the referee did give Khan enough time to recover. Khan wasn't able to continue. There was some discussion between him and Virgil Hunter, and when Hunter asked him, he said, "No, I can't continue," and the referee interpreted that as, "Okay, fight's over, TKO victory," instead of going to the scorecards. I kind of got the impression that between Khan and Hunter, they wanted to. I'm not entirely sure if Khan could have continued. To be honest, I kind of feel like he probably could have, but I got the impression that he and Hunter were hoping for the DQ. They were hoping for that disqualification because oftentimes that happens. If a fighter gets fouled and it's severe enough to where he is unable to continue, sometimes they do call it a disqualification for a disqualification victory for them. Um, as a matter of fact, Max Kellerman mentioned that during the ESPN Plus broadcast, or the pay per view broadcast, and it did. It kind of sucked that he kind of put him on blast like that, but it kind of looked like that, to be completely honest. It looked like they were hoping for that DQ victory, and it was when the announcement was made. There wasn't much of a protest coming out of Khan's corner, neither him nor Virgil Hunter. So they almost were okay with it. They were just like, it kind of felt like Khan was looking for the way out. He didn't want to continue. It looked like it wasn't going to go very well for him. He did get knocked down in that first round. He was on wobbly legs after that. The third or fourth round, it looked like he was getting his legs back, but once that sixth round came, we didn't get to see the rest, of course, because of that low blow. But I felt like he was able to continue. His corner was able to. His corner was hoping for the DQ victory, and when that didn't happen, they were just like, okay, well, they were looking for the door and they got it, realistically. So it's unfortunate that it kind of happened like this. I don't know if ESPN Plus have done any other pay-per-views besides this one. I think this is their first one, and it turned out to be kind of a dud. Some of the undercard bouts were one-sided squash matches, which is becoming typical for top-ranked pay-per-views or top-ranked events now. And then, of course, the pay-per-view or the main event of the pay-per-view turned out to be kind of a dud. Yeah, we kind of got our answer. We figured Terence Crawford was going to win, not in this fashion, but ultimately we got our answer. Crawford was the better of the two. So what's next for these guys? Khan did say that he was going to go back to the drawing board. Not sure how good of an idea that is. Over his last few fights, he's gotten beat up pretty bad. If not knocked down, then knocked out. And he's been known to be pretty chinny and have a glass jaw, as we say. So I'm not sure how good of an idea that is to continue with his career, especially getting tagged as easily as he has been tagged. He's 30. I'm not sure if he's 32 or 33, but I guess it's ultimately up to him. Only he can make that choice. Who the hell are we to tell him when to hang him up? But it certainly sucks to see a guy like that, get tagged and get knocked out or down every single fight. So hopefully he can, come to his senses and not continue. But if he does, well, then I guess more power to him. As far as Crawford goes, during the I want to say the post-fight press conference, his coach Bo Mack was start attempting to or did start a "We Want Spence" chant in that press conference, and I'm not sure if it caught on. I don't remember, but it's obvious that they want Errol Spence Jr. and that is a fight I'd pay for. Hell yeah. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind seeing Crawford with any of the other PPC welterweights, but we'll start with Spence. Fuck it, we'll start with Spence. I remember hearing or reading recently that Bob Arum was willing to go with a 50-50 split with Al Hammond PBC and Errol Spence for a potential fight with Terence Crawford. That sounds fair to me. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that 50-50 split and the fight actually taking place. Of course, that's ideally how it would go. If we get into the ego-less negotiations, then we may get that fight. But chances are somebody's ego is going to get in the way, and we don't get the fight that we want, at least not in a timely manner. Pro boxing is littered with examples of boxers from different promoters or different networks, and when it comes to negotiations, they just cannot come to an agreement. Most likely, money and ego that gets in the way, and us fans are deprived of a fight that we really, really, really want to see. That's one of the reasons that MMA and the UFC in particular have a little bit of edge over professional boxing. Um, the majority of the best mixed martial artists in the world are under the UFC umbrella, and we get to see the best fight the best more frequently. There generally isn't a dispute on who the number one guy in the division is. Yeah, every now and then we'll get an interim champion, but for the most part, that gets resolved pretty quickly. Either the champion relinquishes the belt and the interim champion becomes the actual champion, or they unify belts. So that's something that we don't see as frequently in professional boxing, and that's something I would like to see, of course, happen more often. I feel like we're approaching one of those examples with, Spence and PBC and Al Heyman and Crawford and Arum and Top Rank. I'm hoping that and praying to the boxing gods that Al Heyman and PBC agree to the 50-50 split that Bob Arum mentioned verbally. It's on camera. He said it. He can be quoted as saying that. Whether or not he goes back on that is another story. But at least the ball is rolling. The wheel is going, and that's something that I'm hoping for because it'll be a tragic, tragic shame if we don't get to see Terence Crawford fight some of the other best welterweights that are under the PBC banner. And that is all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me and watching my video. Sorry I was kind of MIA last week. I'm not as proficient as proficient a YouTuber as other YouTubers are. I don't record in batches, so I don't have a batch of videos ready to post on a moment's notice. I basically release them as I recorded them. So Unfortunately, last week I wasn't able to record any, but I'm going to try to shoot for two every week, as I mentioned before. At the very least, one every week if I'm not able to do two, since sometimes two just isn't realistic. But thank you guys for being consistent and coming back and watching my videos. I'm going to return the favor and be as consistent as I possibly can be and releasing at least one video every week just to keep that content rolling. So On that note, if you haven't checked out any of my other videos, by all means do so. I'm going to leave a link right up here to catch one of my videos. There's another one right there. So I don't have that many videos, but by all means, browse and feel free to check them all out. Um, oh yeah, and then if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button down below, and throw that left hook to the notification button, and get notified every single time I release a video, which hopefully will be more frequently. Besides that, guys, that is it. Have yourselves a good night, good evening, good day, good morning, whatever time of the day it is you're watching this video. Hopefully, you're watching this video in general. So, whatever time of the day it is, where you're at, have yourselves a good one of that. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.